Welcome to our deep dive into Sady Bordin's Marketing Pessoal des Etapas.
Oh, yeah?
We're going to be looking at his 116 tips for success.
Wow, 116.
Not just in your career, but really any area of life where you're looking to make an impact.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So what's really interesting is how Bordin's approach is not just about being competent.
Yeah.
It's about being seen as competent.
Yeah.
He really digs into the psychology of perception and highlights just how crucial it is to be seen as competent, reliable, trustworthy by others.
It's so true. I always think about that old saying,
Sure.
you never get a second chance to make a first impression. And that's
Oh.
exactly where Bordin starts.
Oh, okay.
Step one, self-awareness.
He quotes Lao Tzu here.
Okay.
He who knows others is wise. He who knows himself is enlightened.
Right.
And it might sound simple,
Yeah.
but Bordin argues that many people spend years chasing goals that aren't really aligned with their true strengths and passions.
So he's saying self-awareness is really the foundation for everything else.
Exactly. He even suggests a practical exercise,
Okay.
creating 2 lists,
Okay.
one for your strengths, one for your weaknesses,
Okay.
and then think about how those qualities would fit into different career paths.
Okay. So I see where he's going with this.
Yeah.
Like if you're someone who loves deep thinking and working independently,
Right.
maybe a fast-paced sales job
Yeah.
isn't the best fit.
Totally. And on the flip side, if you thrive on social interaction and persuasion, a research-heavy role might not be fulfilling,
Right.
even if you're good at it.
It's about finding that sweet spot
Yeah.
where your natural talents can shine
Yeah.
and your weaknesses aren't going to hold you back.
That's his core message. And once you have that clarity about who you are and what you bring to the table, it's time to move on to step 2,
Okay.
planning for success.
Okay. Planning. This is where I think a lot of self-help books fall flat.
Yeah.
They just give vague advice about setting goals. What does Bordin do differently?
Well, he starts with a quote from Thomas Edison.
Okay.
Good fortune is what happens when opportunity meets planning.
I love that quote.
But he goes beyond just setting goals. He provides a framework for breaking down those big dreams into manageable steps.
Okay, so it's not enough to just say, I want to climb Mount Everest.
Right.
You need to plan out the training, the logistics, every step of the journey.
That's exactly the kind of thinking he encourages.
Wow.
He suggests mapping out your goals in 10-year increments,
Okay.
then breaking them down yearly, monthly, even daily actions.
Wow, that's incredibly detailed.
Yeah.
It seems almost counterintuitive, though.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that much planning make the journey feel,
Less spontaneous?
less spontaneous and exciting?
That's an interesting point. But Bordin argues that having that roadmap
Yeah.
actually gives you more freedom to adjust your course as you go.
Okay.
You're not just reacting to whatever comes up.
Right.
You're making intentional choices that keep you moving towards your ultimate goal.
Okay. I can see how that would be empowering.
You're not just drifting along.
Mm-hmm.
You're steering the ship.
Precisely.
Mm-hmm.
And once you have that solid plan in place, Bordin reminds us that you need a strong foundation to build on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where step 3 comes in.
Okay.
Invest in your health.
This is something we hear all the time,
Yeah.
but it's so easy to neglect when you're caught up in the pursuit of success.
He frames it beautifully with a quote from Mahatma Gandhi.
Okay.
It is health that is real wealth and not pieces of gold and silver.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what's the point of achieving your goals if you don't have the energy and well-being to enjoy them?
Such a good reminder for all of us.
Yeah.
What are some of the specific things he suggests in this step?
He really focuses on the basics:
Okay.
exercise, sleep, and nutrition.
The fundamentals.
He even highlights some alarming statistics about how few people actually prioritize their health.
Oh, really?
Like, did you know only 1% of Brazilians consume the recommended amount of fruits and vegetables?
Wow, that's pretty shocking. I guess it just shows how easy it is to get caught up in the busyness of life and neglect those fundamentals.
And that's why he dedicates an entire step to this,
Yeah.
is to remind us that our health is the bedrock of everything else we achieve.
Okay, so we've covered self-awareness, planning, and health. What's next in Bordin's roadmap?
Well, he shifts gears a bit to focus on something that many people find uncomfortable.
Oh, okay.
It's steps 4 and 5,
Okay.
appearance and conduct.
The packaging aspect of personal marketing.
Exactly.
This is where I think some people might push back
Yeah.
and say, shouldn't it just be about what's on the inside, not the outside?
He acknowledges that,
Okay.
but he also emphasizes that first impressions matter.
Mm-hmm.
He compares personal presentation to product packaging.
Okay.
A well-designed package attracts customers, just as a polished appearance can open doors
Yeah.
in both personal and professional settings.
It's not about being superficial then.
Right.
It's about understanding those social cues
Mm-hmm.
and expectations of different environments.
Right. Borden isn't saying we should judge a book by its cover, but rather acknowledge that how we present ourselves sends a message.
And this makes me think about that story about Gaisi Arruda,
Uh-huh.
who was that university student in Brazil
Yeah.
who was expelled for wearing a short dress deemed inappropriate.
Oh, wow.
And that just sparked a huge debate about clothing choices and social norms.
That's a perfect example of how appearance can become a lightning rod for these complex cultural issues.
Yeah.
And it highlights how important it is to be aware of the context and expectations
Right.
of the environment you're in.
So what are some of the practical takeaways Borden offers for navigating this tricky territory?
He keeps it pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Dress appropriately for the situation, pay attention to grooming, and maintain good posture and etiquette.
It's like a silent language we're speaking with our appearance and behavior.
Yeah.
And those messages can be just as powerful as the words we say, sometimes even more so.
That's a great way to put it. It's all part of building that personal brand we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And this leads perfectly into step 6,
Okay.
which he calls avoiding career suicide.
Okay, that sounds intense. What exactly does he mean by career suicide?
It's not always about these really dramatic actions.
Okay.
Sometimes it's the seemingly small things.
Yeah.
A careless comment,
Yeah.
a lapse in judgment
Yeah.
that can derail even the most promising careers.
Like those stories you hear about public figures who make one bad decision
Yeah,
and it just completely overshadows all their previous accomplishments.
exactly. Borden cautions against common pitfalls like dishonesty and discretion and impulsive actions.
Okay.
These are things that can really damage your reputation and erode the trust that you've built with colleagues, clients, superiors.
I'm guessing he has some pretty compelling examples of how these missteps can play out.
He does.
Okay.
He talks about Scott Thompson, the former Yahoo CEO, who was fired for lying about his college degree.
Yeah.
And then there's Bertrand Gachot, a Formula One driver,
Okay.
whose career was stalled by a brawl.
These are such great examples because
Yeah.
they show how even seemingly small lapses in judgment can have huge consequences,
Right.
especially when you're in a position of authority or visibility.
That's his key point. He wants us to be aware of the potential pitfalls and think strategically about our actions, both on and off the job.
So it's not just about being competent, it's about being perceived as trustworthy and reliable.
Yes.
That's a powerful message.
It is. And it brings us to the next stage in his roadmap.
Okay.
Step 7,
Okay.
boosting your resume.
This is something everyone wants to know about,
Yeah.
especially in today's competitive job market.
Right.
What does Borden suggest for making our qualifications stand out?
Well, he has this great analogy
Okay.
where he compares a strong resume to vitamin-enriched milk.
I love that.
Yeah. It offers more value than the basic version.
Okay, so how do we vitamin enrich our resumes?
He emphasizes the importance of continuous learning.
Okay.
This could mean mastering essential skills like foreign languages and computer literacy, or leveraging experiences like internships and college projects to showcase your abilities.
I've even heard of people who landed their first jobs based solely on their well-crafted college thesis projects.
Exactly.
Right.
Employers are looking for evidence of initiative, critical thinking, and the ability to apply knowledge in real-world situations.
It's not just about checking boxes anymore.
Right.
It's about demonstrating that you're a proactive learner who's passionate about their field.
That's what he's getting at. And this focus on continuous learning isn't just about getting a job.
Right.
It's about staying relevant in a constantly evolving world.
Yeah, you can't just rely on the skills you learned in school or your previous job.
Right.
You have to be constantly adapting and upgrading your knowledge
Yeah.
to keep up with the pace of change.
That's a crucial point. And he encourages us to take ownership of our development. Don't wait for your employer to send you to training. Seek out opportunities to learn and grow on your own.
Okay, so we've laid the groundwork with self-awareness planning,
Yes.
health, and a vitamin-enriched resume. What's next?
Now it's time to showcase all that hard work.
Okay.
He dedicates the next 2 steps to branding and marketing yourself.
This is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people struggle with the idea of selling themselves.
He acknowledges that,
Okay.
but he also emphasizes that it's not about being fake or boastful.
Okay.
It's about presenting your authentic self
Right.
in a way that highlights your strengths and makes you memorable.
So it's like creating a personal brand
Yes,
that reflects your unique values and abilities.
exactly. He encourages you to think of yourself as a product.
Okay.
What makes you stand out from the competition?
Mhm.
What are your unique selling points?
Okay, that's a helpful framework.
Yeah.
What are some of the specific strategies he suggests for building that brand?
He talks about mastering the art of conversation,
Okay.
cultivating a strong network, and finding creative ways to make your work and achievements stand out.
Okay.
It's not just about what you do,
Yeah.
it's how you communicate it.
It makes me think about those little gestures that leave a lasting impression.
Yeah.
Like sending personalized holiday cards to clients or offering a unique giveaway at a conference.
Those are great examples.
Yeah.
It's those subtle details that can make you stand out from the crowd
Yeah.
and show that you're not just competent, but also thoughtful and memorable.
So we've built a solid foundation, honed our skills,
Yep.
and crafted this compelling personal brand. What's the final piece of the puzzle?
Well, he addresses this in step 10,
Okay.
maintaining success.
Maintaining success.
He acknowledges that reaching the top is one thing,
Right.
but staying there is a whole other challenge.
I bet he has some really insightful advice for navigating those complexities.
He does.
Yeah.
But we'll have to save that for part 2 of this deep dive.
Okay, I can't wait.
We've covered a lot of ground already,
Yeah, we have.
and there's still so much more to uncover.
I'm excited to keep going.
Me too. Welcome back to our deep dive into Sady Bordin's marketing epistle.
We left off talking about step 10, maintaining success.
Yeah.
It feels like this step is often overlooked,
Yeah,
but it's probably the most important part of the journey, right?
absolutely. It's one thing to achieve a goal,
Right.
but it's quite another to sustain that success over time.
Yeah.
And Bordin really gets into the nuances of what that takes.
So what are some of the key challenges people face once they've reached a certain level of success? What does Bordin highlight?
One of the most insightful points he makes is that success can amplify both your strengths
Right.
and your weaknesses.
Oh, interesting.
It's almost like your character is put under a magnifying glass.
That makes sense. The higher you climb,
Yeah.
the more scrutiny you face. Small mistakes can have bigger consequences.
Exactly. And Bordin provides some really practical advice for navigating those complexities.
Okay.
He talks a lot about the importance of discretion.
Discretion, as in being careful about what you say and do,
Yes.
especially as your visibility increases.
Precisely. He cautions against oversharing personal information or opinions
Right.
that could be misconstrued or used against you. It's like a higher level of self-awareness.
Yeah.
Not just about your own thoughts and feelings,
Right.
but about how they might be perceived by others,
Yeah.
especially those who might not have your best interests at heart.
So it's not about being fake or hiding who you are.
Right.
It's about understanding that your words and actions
Yeah.
carry more weight when you're in a position of influence.
Right. And that ties into another important point he makes.
Right.
Prioritizing genuine connections. Success can attract a lot of superficial attention.
Yeah.
So it's crucial to be able to discern those who are truly supportive from those who might be trying to exploit your newfound status.
This reminds me of the Barclays bank executives we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Their lavish spending spree ultimately cost them their jobs.
Yeah.
Not because it was illegal,
Right.
but because it demonstrated a lack of awareness and humility.
It's a classic example of how success can quickly turn sour
Yeah.
when you lose sight of your values and the expectations of your role. Bordin emphasizes that maintaining a positive public image is about more than just avoiding illegal activities.
Right.
It's about aligning your actions with your values
Yeah.
and the trust that others have placed in you.
It's a reminder that success isn't just about what you achieve, but also about how you carry yourself along the way.
Exactly. And speaking of values,
Yeah.
Bordin also reminds us to never forget those who helped us along the way.
Gratitude.
Uh-huh.
It's such a simple concept, but so easy to forget when you're caught up in the whirlwind of success.
He emphasizes the importance of acknowledging those who contributed to your achievements,
Right.
both publicly and privately. It's not just about being a good person. It's also about reinforcing those relationships
Right.
and fostering a spirit of collaboration and support.
Because success is rarely a solo endeavor.
Absolutely.
There are usually mentors, colleagues, friends, family who have played a role in your journey.
Absolutely. And Bordin even goes a step further
Okay.
by encouraging us to use our success to inspire others.
Oh, wow.
He argues that sharing our stories,
Yeah.
the struggles, the setbacks, the triumphs,
Mm-hmm.
can provide valuable insights and encouragement for those who are just starting out on their own paths.
It's like paying it forward.
Yeah.
Sharing your knowledge and experience can have a ripple effect,
Mm-hmm.
creating a more supportive and collaborative environment for everyone.
I love that perspective. Now let's shift gears a bit
Okay.
and delve into some of Borden's more practical tips for enhancing our professional image and qualifications.
Okay.
I think one of the most impactful suggestions he makes is the idea of vitamin enriching our resumes.
That's such a great analogy.
It really captures the idea
Oh.
of going beyond the bare minimum
Mm,
and proactively adding value to our skill set.
exactly. So how do we do that?
Well, Borden suggests focusing on continuous learning.
Okay.
This could be acquiring new knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
mastering essential skills like foreign languages and computer literacy,
Right.
or leveraging experiences like internships and college projects
Mm-hmm.
to demonstrate our abilities in practical ways.
He even mentions professionals who landed their first jobs based solely on their well-crafted college thesis projects.
Exactly.
Which just goes to show that employers are looking for more than just a degree.
Right? They want to see evidence of initiative,
Yeah.
critical thinking, and the ability to apply knowledge to real-world situations.
It's not just about what you know, but how you can use that knowledge to solve problems and create value.
And this focus on continuous learning isn't just about landing a job.
Right.
It's about staying relevant in a constantly evolving job market.
The skills that are in demand today might be obsolete tomorrow, so we need to be adaptable and constantly upgrading our knowledge.
I think that's one of the most important messages Borden conveys.
Mm-hmm.
It's about taking ownership of our development, being proactive,
Yeah.
and seeking out opportunities to learn and grow, rather than waiting for our employers to provide training or guidance.
It's about demonstrating a commitment to personal and professional growth,
Yes.
which is something that any employer would value.
And this proactive approach should go beyond simply acquiring new knowledge.
Okay.
It's about finding ways to apply that knowledge to make a tangible impact. Borden encourages us to take on new challenges, volunteer for projects outside of our comfort zones, and constantly look for ways to contribute and add value.
It's like he's saying, don't just be a passive recipient of information, be an active creator and contributor.
Exactly. And Borden believes that demonstrating initiative, a willingness to learn,
Right.
and a commitment to excellence are essential for building a strong reputation and attracting the right opportunities.
Okay, so we're continuously learning.
We're taking initiative and we're striving for excellence.
Yes.
What else can we do to set ourselves up for success?
Borden emphasizes the importance of being reliable and delivering on our promises.
Okay.
He reminds us that our word is our bond,
Mm-hmm.
and that failing to follow through on commitments can damage our credibility and reputation.
It's about building trust,
Right?
which is the foundation of any successful relationship,
Absolutely.
whether it's with colleagues, clients, or superiors.
And Borden even cautions us against seemingly small things that can erode that trust,
What kind of things?
like being consistently late to meetings or failing to respond to emails promptly.
Right.
He believes that these details, however small, can send a message about our level of professionalism and respect for others.
It's about being mindful of how our actions,
Uh-huh.
even the seemingly insignificant ones,
Mm-hmm.
can impact our reputation.
Precisely. And this attention to detail extends to our online presence as well.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Borden emphasizes the importance of managing our online reputation and being aware of how our actions and interactions in the digital world can impact our professional image.
This is so important in today's world, where everything is documented and shared online. A careless comment or an inappropriate photo can come back to haunt you years later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Borden provides some practical advice for managing our online presence.
Okay.
He suggests crafting professional email addresses,
Right.
choosing appropriate profile pictures for our social media accounts, and being mindful of the content we share online.
Okay.
He even cautions against using corporate email accounts for personal correspondence.
It's a reminder that in today's interconnected world, the lines between our personal and professional lives are increasingly blurred.
Yeah.
And we need to be mindful of how our actions in one realm can affect the other.
Now, beyond these individual actions,
Okay.
Borden also highlights the importance of building and nurturing a strong professional network.
Networking.
He emphasizes the value of relationships.
Right.
both in terms of personal fulfillment and professional advancement. He encourages us to be proactive in connecting with others, attending industry events,
Okay.
and seeking out opportunities to collaborate and share knowledge.
It's not just about collecting business cards.
Right.
It's about building genuine relationships based on mutual respect and support.
Exactly. He even suggests sending personalized holiday cards and congratulatory telegrams
Oh, wow.
as ways to stay top of mind and nurture those connections.
Yeah.
It's those small gestures that can make a big difference in solidifying those relationships.
It's about going beyond the transactional
Yeah.
and building genuine rapport. And that same principle applies to how we interact with others in professional settings, right?
Absolutely. Bordin stresses the importance of treating everyone with respect,
Okay.
regardless of their position or title.
Right.
He encourages us to be kind, considerate, and helpful, even when dealing with difficult people or challenging situations.
Yeah. It's about building a reputation for being someone who is not only competent,
Right.
but also approachable and easy to work with.
Exactly. He even shares a heartwarming story about a Faxinero
Okay.
who found a package containing $10,000
Wow.
and returned it to its owner,
Oh,
even though he was struggling financially himself.
that's a powerful example of integrity and doing the right thing, even when it's not the easy thing.
It's a reminder that our actions speak volumes about our character, and that building a reputation for honesty, integrity, and trustworthiness
Yeah.
is essential for long-term success.
And this focus on integrity extends to how we handle mistakes as well.
Right.
Bordin encourages us to own up to our errors, learn from them, and move forward.
He shares a great anecdote about a newly appointed IBM president
Okay.
who made a decision that cost the company $10 million.
Oh, no.
Instead of firing him, the chairman of the board recognized that the president had learned a valuable lesson
Oh, wow.
and would likely not repeat the same mistake.
That's a great reminder that everyone makes mistakes.
Right.
And that the most important thing is how we respond to them.
Absolutely.
Admitting our errors, taking responsibility, and learning from the experience
Yes.
can actually strengthen our credibility and demonstrate humility.
It's about turning those mistakes into opportunities for growth.
Precisely. And this willingness to learn and grow
Mhm.
should be a constant throughout our careers.
He encourages us to embrace challenges, seek out new experiences, and constantly look for ways to expand our knowledge and skills.
Yeah.
He believes that this growth mindset is essential for staying ahead of the curve in a rapidly changing world
Right.
and for achieving long-term success.
And he reminds us that success is not a destination,
Right.
but a journey.
It's about constantly striving to improve, learn, and grow, both personally and professionally.
Now let's talk about one of Bordin's more intriguing pieces of advice,
Okay.
the importance of saying no,
Ah, yes. This is something that a lot of people struggle with.
especially those who are naturally helpful or eager to please.
But Bordin argues that saying no is essential for protecting our time, energy, and reputation. He reminds us that we can't be everything to everyone,
Right.
and that sometimes saying no is the best way to prioritize our own goals and commitments.
He even quotes Marilia Pera,
Okay.
a famous Brazilian actress who said, "It's exactly the opposite. I'm only Marilia Pera because I learned to say no."
It's a powerful reminder that setting boundaries and prioritizing our own needs is essential for achieving success on our own terms.
And this ability to say no is particularly important when it comes to requests
Yeah,
that could potentially compromise our integrity or reputation.
absolutely.
It's about knowing your limits and
Yeah.
recognizing that sometimes the best way to help others is to take care of yourself first.
Exactly. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive so far.
We have.
From practical tips on resume building and networking to deeper reflections on integrity, humility, and the importance of giving back.
Bordin's insights have been incredibly thought-provoking,
Yeah,
but there's still more to uncover.
there is.
We'll be right back to wrap things up after a short. Welcome back to our deep dive. It feels like we've covered so much ground already,
We have.
but I know there's still more to unpack from Bordin's book.
Yeah, you're right. There are still some valuable insights we haven't touched on yet.
Well, let's dive back in then. What else does Bordin highlight in this roadmap for success?
One area he addresses that I found particularly insightful is how to handle unsolicited opportunities.
Okay.
You know those moments when something unexpected comes your way?
Yeah.
A new job, offer a collaboration proposal, even a tempting side project.
It's like that saying, don't jump at every shiny object.
Exactly. Bordin cautions against that very thing.
Okay.
He emphasizes the importance of carefully considering any offer before accepting it, even if it seems appealing on the surface.
So it's about taking a step back and evaluating whether this opportunity truly aligns with your long-term goals and values.
That's a key part of it.
Yeah.
He wants you to ask yourself, will this help me move closer to where I want to be?
Right.
Or will it just be a distraction?
I imagine this is especially challenging when you're early in your career and eager to gain experience. It's hard to say no to anything.
It is. But Bordin argues that even then it's important to be selective.
Okay.
He suggests thinking about your career as a carefully curated portfolio.
Okay.
Each project, each experience should contribute to the overall narrative you're building.
So it's not just about saying yes to everything. It's about being strategic and choosing opportunities that will truly enhance your growth and reputation.
Exactly. And this ties into another important point Bordin makes about maintaining a sense of scarcity,
Okay.
even when you're actively seeking new opportunities.
Scarcity? I'm not sure I follow.
It's about positioning yourself as a sought-after professional, someone whose time and talents are valuable,
Okay.
not someone who's desperate or overly eager to take on anything that comes their way.
Okay, I think I see what he's getting at.
Yeah.
It's like that saying, know your worth and don't settle for less.
That's it, exactly. And this confidence in your own value should be reflected in how you negotiate compensation and benefits.
Okay.
Bordin encourages professionals to be assertive in advocating for their worth,
Right.
while still maintaining a professional and respectful demeanor.
It's a delicate balance for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to remember that we're not just selling our time and skills. We're offering a unique combination of talent, experience, and expertise
Right.
that deserves to be fairly compensated.
I completely agree. And this confidence should also be evident in how we present ourselves in professional settings.
Okay.
Bordin emphasizes the importance of clear and concise communication, both written and verbal. Whether you're delivering a presentation, leading a meeting, or simply engaging in casual conversation.
Right.
The way you communicate can make a huge difference in how you're perceived.
So it's not just about what you say, it's about how you say it.
It's exactly.
Bordin encourages professionals to be articulate, persuasive, and confident in their interactions.
Okay.
He stresses the importance of listening actively, asking clarifying questions, and tailoring your message to your audience.
These are all essential skills for building trust and credibility,
Absolutely.
which are crucial for establishing a strong professional reputation.
And beyond these communication skills, Bordin also highlights the importance of being a problem solver.
Problem solving. Okay.
He reminds us that anyone can identify problems,
Right.
but it's those who can offer solutions
Yeah.
that truly stand out.
It's like taking that initiative we talked about earlier, but at a higher level.
Yeah.
Not just doing what's asked, but anticipating challenges and finding creative ways to address them.
That's a great way to put it. He even suggests framing solutions as opportunities for improvement,
Oh,
rather than dwelling on the negative aspects of the problem.
interesting.
It's about demonstrating a positive and proactive approach.
Which is highly valued in any professional setting.
And this proactive approach should extend beyond our immediate job responsibilities, right?
Bordin certainly thinks so.
Okay.
He encourages us to be active participants in our professional communities, attending industry events, contributing to publications, and sharing our knowledge and expertise with others. This not only enhances our own learning and development, but also helps to advance our professions as a whole.
It's like that idea of paying it forward.
Yeah.
By sharing our knowledge and expertise, we create a more supportive and collaborative environment for everyone.
Exactly. And I think it's important to note that Bordin's advice isn't just for seasoned professionals.
Okay.
Many of his tips and strategies are equally relevant for students, recent graduates,
Yeah.
and anyone who's just starting out on their career path.
His emphasis on self-awareness planning and continuous learning seems especially valuable for those who are still exploring their options and defining their professional goals.
Absolutely. And his insights on personal branding, networking, and communication are essential skills for building a strong foundation for any career.
So whether you're just starting out or you're already well on your way, Bordin's book offers a wealth of practical and insightful advice.
It's a reminder that success is not a destination, but a journey. It's about embracing challenges, learning from mistakes, and constantly striving to improve.
Right.
And it's about being true to yourself, aligning your actions with your values.
Yeah.
And building a career that brings you both fulfillment and success.
I think that's a perfect note to end on. But before we go, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought from Bordin.
Okay.
He asks, if you were to consider yourself a brand, What would be your unique selling proposition? What sets you apart from the competition and makes you invaluable?
That's a powerful question,
Yeah,
one that we should all be asking ourselves.
I agree.
It's about understanding our own strengths and values and finding ways to leverage them to make a meaningful contribution to the world.
We've reached the end of our deep dive into marketing Pessoa, but the exploration of personal and professional growth never truly ends. Thanks for joining us.